Just getting everybody on the same page, buying into our concepts, like getting our culture in line with, especially like we have a lot of new girls, so just getting that all handled and getting on the same page with everything, starting out the season strong.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, just having a lot of new girls, just getting everyone on the same page and getting us all together as a team and getting energy high, keeping it high throughout practice, games, travel, everything like that.
You guys, Coach Lee and you guys as a team, obviously try to focus on everything being sort of the same. Next minute is the same as the last. Each game's the same. Focus, focus, focus. Is it hard to do when you're playing a team like you're playing on Thursday? Highly ranked, big moment, big exposure, all that. Are you able to stay on that same sort of level phase of looking forward to that?
I think so. I think when we're on the field, you kind of just look to your teammates to the left and right, and just be there for them, stay on the same page, kind of just stay focused, locked in.
Yeah, I think it honestly helps playing a team like Florida State who's ranked high. Like playing a team that's going to give you their all and be a very competitive match, I think honestly helps keep you focused and keep you motivated.
Is there any different feel about it, at least at this point?
I think our team does a good job of looking at every opponent. Like they're going to give us their all because they will. So, I think we're going into this week with doing what we normally do, practicing like we normally practice, and just know that we're going to get a good match on Thursday.
What did you take away from that scoreless draw at Utah State?
It was a tough game, like first game on the road. I think mentally it's a little bit different than home games. I definitely think we had a lot more in us, but just kind of learning from that and moving on to the next game.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes to tie. Everyone wants to win, but I think tying that game showed us a few aspects of our game that we can improve on and work on. So, we would have loved to win, but I think it did help us just expose some things that we need to work on this week.
What are some of those things?
I think as a team, sometimes we can stay more connected, or just like working on that. Utah State did good at closing the middle, and so we couldn't go through the middle, and so working on using our width and things like that, I think we can work on a little bit more.
Sophie, you've had some playing experience playing with some players who are going to be on this Florida State team. What do you sort of know about them going in?
I'd say they're definitely locked in with everything they do, like every little detail. Florida State's definitely a team where if you're not locked in all 90 minutes, like you'll be punished, and so just staying with that.
Yeah. For both of you, you've talked about sort of this culture building, the culture of the team. What do you think the culture of Kansas soccer is like?
I think over everything, unified. It's all a family, so just sticking together no matter what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've done good, or just having a year with these coaches. I think they've done a good job at making us a unified group and letting us have a lot of grit too, and just keeping us together.
I know you guys are busy with practice and class and everything else, but volleyball fans, either of you?
Yes.
Okay, playing on the team perhaps? Either? Did you watch last night?
I did not,
Okay.
which makes me feel like a fake fan.
Yeah.
But
You're busy. I know.
Yeah.
So, but I guess the reason I ask is because they're playing number 2 Penn State last night, taking the 5 sets, having a chance to win, just showing well, really got people's attention for them. I wonder if you can kind of take anything from that and sort of say, like, win or lose, as long as we put a good effort out there on Thursday, people are going to pay attention. Does that matter? Is that a thing?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was saying, it would be great to win, but playing well is also very important and just sets you up for the rest of the season. But, I think soccer's a crazy game, like every sport, and anyone can win. So I'm just excited for this Thursday.
Yeah, just double down on everything we do, stick to our concepts, and just, be ourselves.
Yeah.
I saw they put a post out telling people to pack the park. I was just wondering what a good fan turnout would do for you guys on Thursday.
Yeah, having a good fan turnout would be amazing. Please come to support. It's always fun when our supporters are out there, especially on a Thursday night game under the lights. It's a really fun experience. So, yeah.
I think it just adds to the energy and makes it more exciting, and just,
Where are you guys at overall? You get the 5 goals on opening night, and you haven't had 5 cents. I get that, but is it frustrating that you're not clicking offensively and pouring in goals like maybe it looked like you were going to, or is it just part of the process?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely part of the process. You're going to have high games and you're going to have a little bit lower games. But I think even though we haven't been like scoring as much in the past 2 games, we've been doing better at other concepts like playing through the midfield or just like playing through the back. Those have improved. So we are seeing progress.
Yeah, I think we're focusing on being patient, just like knowing that they'll come.
How much of that is from last year? You had to be patient all the way last year until.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Play in your heads? Are you still thinking about that, or is that gone?
I would say just like carrying those positives in, yeah. Like it helps to have that kind of experience. So you kind of have like something to build off and like talk about, especially with like newcomers.
Yeah, just having that experience last year of how we started off a little slow and then obviously ended really well. Just knowing that it's a marathon, like it's a long season, so just taking little wins and celebrating the little wins is important.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that showing well is our biggest goal for this game. I think playing well, absolutely more. This isn't about a show. We hope people come to Rock Chalk, watch us play. We hope that we represent the program well. We hope we compete well. The final score when you play someone like this, you can't base all success off that. But we want to go out there to compete, play well, show our identity. It is tricky when, you know, if you play this game 10 times, you're not winning 5. That's okay. That's okay. It's something we can't run from. It's something that shouldn't demotivate us because it's not going to be 0 either. And we have to lean into that 1, 2, 3, whatever it may be. The only way that we give ourselves a chance is that we have to believe. We have to be willing to sacrifice and go deeper than them. That's the shared suffering has to be something that doesn't scare us because one of the things that is true to our identity is when we're playing well, we tend to be on the front foot and dictate the game. It's going to be hard to do for over half of this game. And so finding the right mix of being realistic, shooting them straight, being straightforward with what's needed from us to find success, and then to your question, maybe defining what would be success. It's a challenge that I, as a coach, don't have to deal with very often because there's only so many Florida States in this world. They're probably pound for pound the best team in the country, if you ask me. I think they're certainly the most fully stocked in an attacking capacity. They're pedigreed. They're probably the deepest team they've had this year, and so we can't treat this game like every other game in certain ways. And then on the flip side, you have to try to, our process is going to be exactly the same. Our training session today is going to look like a normal training session. Our scout tomorrow is going to look like a normal scout, but it's a different challenge.
In terms of dictating the game and playing at your pace, how do you feel like you guys have done so far this season?
Yeah, I think it depends on the game, and I think it depends on the half, and that's not, this time of year, four matches in, that's not uncommon to sort of have fits and starts and ups and downs. We're rotating a lot of new players into everything. We've played 4 quality opponents. I've said this many times, but I don't think it should be forgotten that I think all 4 teams won their conference championships last year, whether regular season or tournament. And so if you think you're going to impose for 360 straight minutes, that's just not going to happen. I do think we can do a better job of controlling the controllables and dictating more of those 90 minutes than we have. I think the first match, I thought we did a pretty good job with it, and these last 3 have had some ups and downs. And I'm walking out of this one into film, and we're going to talk through ways we could get better. And I think those specific areas will allow us to continue to build closer and closer to 90. So I think it's pretty normal for this time of year. We're pushing for more, but the team so far has responded in a positive manner, I'd say.
What have you thought of sort of the fit and the adjustment of your newcomers and transfers to the team so far?
I say this all the time, and I think those of you who have watched us play probably are starting to understand it to some extent, that we do things a bit differently than the average soccer team. And so I think the adjustment to our program can be a bigger than the adjustment to most programs. And that being said, that being factored in, I think they've done an excellent job. We have a group, 1 to 28, that I think approaches training and approaches being a teammate approaches competing in the right ways. We might have to continue to do education on what competing looks like at this level, what winning plays look like at this level, but everyone has the right a growth mindset. Whether it's working or not, whether we're executing or not, they're trying to, and certain players adapt to it faster than others, and it's definitely easier when the people around you know their cues a little bit more, right? So if a newcomer is coming in, if we had 10 returning players and one newcomer, I bet you they'd look better than if they're surrounded by 3 others that it's their first year. And so I think in certain parts of the match, like to Henry's kind of question of like, when we might lose control, we might have 5 freshmen on the field at the same time when we actually look up and see what's happening. And the way we play, one little mistake or lack of attention to detail can get punished more than other teams because of how much everything is based on what's in front of you and what's behind you. But the group's got the right mentality, and so I'm confident we're going to continue to grow in the right direction.
Approach aside and keeping everything the same like you talked about a minute ago, is there any part of you that wants this to feel different this week leading up to the game? More buzz or anticipation or juice from your girls?
If I'm answering honestly, no. I'm probably talking to the people here at KU. Like, I appreciate it to the fullest extent how much we're working to get a crowd there on Thursday. But I hope that buzz and that excitement, that support can carry through all of our games at Rock Chalk. I don't want this to be a one-off in any way. When we line up and we cruise across the field, I know it'll feel a little bit different. And so I don't think we have to play into that too much. If anything, I'm more worried about our team playing tight and nervous than I am, like not having the motivation. So no, I do want them to understand you only have so many shots at games like this, right? Me as a coach, if you could pull off something like this, it's one you'll remember for a long time. And the few opponents that we've played that had kind of this weight behind them, I remember coaching against them and what it felt like for 90 minutes. And honestly, some of the fondest memories I've had. I was just telling the coaches, probably my favorite memory as a college player myself was playing the #1 team in the country, Indiana, and we played them every year. And the one time they played us, Miami, like on our field, we went toe-to-toe with them for 90 and lost by a goal. But it was, if you're around my friends and you say, what's your favorite game? It was probably that one, because we looked the best team in the country straight in the eye and said, let's go. And, we felt like for that given amount of minutes, like we were on par with them. And so we have an opportunity here, and I don't want to wish it away, and I don't want to pretend like it's not there. But I think our best chance at having a positive experience is just kind of continuing to invest in our normal process.
You have girls who will look them in the eye? You feel like
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Like they deserve to, right? That is one of the things I want our team to understand is like we're a good team, and I think we have the opportunity to be one of those kind of teams that plays up, if you so to speak. I think a lot of how we're built is to deal with the best teams. And when we believe, it's not just one player dealing with one player. I think what can be special about us when we're clicking is that every time a player on the opponent has the ball, there's usually support coming. If it's not right there, it's coming. When we're playing our best, they're going to find a double team or triple team if they hold on to the ball too long. And so that's how I want Thursday night to feel, is that no matter how the game is going back and forth, it feels like we're closing gaps really quickly. It feels like any time a Florida State player has the ball for any kind of extended amount of time, they're dealing with 2 or 3 Jayhawks. And if so, I think we could look at them right in the eye and see how it goes.
How did this game get set up?
Yeah, so the non-conference scheduling is largely up to our discretion. Inheriting this program a year ago, we had some commitments that we still had to fulfill, return games to and from. This one was not. This was one we chose to schedule. And I think both us and Florida State had an opening. I think we both understand why it could be helpful to each team. if they're able to pick up a result, I hope for them it's a top 25, top 50 result, right? I think both teams wanted to play it at home, and so then you just have to figure out what makes the most sense.
Do
And
you know their coach, and will you return the game?
the way it's set up is there's no return on this game, but it's maybe something that we would look to do in the future. Do know the coach. Coach Penske he won a national championship a year ago, so he's one of the best in the business. Before that, he was at Tennessee for a bunch of years and actually, played his program multiple times with multiple schools. So whether that was in the NCAA tournament when I was assistant coach at Miami, when I was assistant coach at Cincinnati, we played them multiple times. Right after we left, Xavier played at Tennessee in the NCAA tournament 2 years in a row, the first and second years after he departed, but it was largely his roster. So Brian's a great coach. He's got a great staff. He pulled Irwin was the head coach of Indiana last year, and now he's the assistant coach of Florida State. That's the kind of power they have there. They're recruiting as well as anyone in the country at this point, and tons of respect for the program.
You place an emphasis on protecting the home field this year, and so far that's gone well. I guess what's gone into that and kind of getting your players to value opportunities to play at home more this season?
I think that's part of it, is valuing how special that is. We just went on the road for our first match, and it's no fun, and it's fun being on the bus, it's fun being on the plane, it's fun hanging out in the hotel, but, adjusting to a new surface, a new ball, in that case, the altitude, having to drive almost 2 hours from the airport to those things are part of playing on the road, part of what Florida State's dealing with now. Even if they're chartering, it's not like a short little trip, and we get to sleep in our own beds, and so we have to value being at home first. Then I think we have to have a sense of pride of what it means to represent this university, this athletic department, this community, that there's a lot of people out there who believe in us and who support us and want us to do well, and we're playing. Part of our why is always who are you playing for? And it should be internal, and then should be for the people on your left and right, and then it should be for something bigger, and part of that's this greater community. And so I think we're valuing that more. I think we're getting energy from the crowd, and we've had some good ones here, and we're nice and vocal, and I hope we just continue to invest more in how special these moments can be.
When you're looking to do non-conference schedule this year and going forwards, what are you sort of looking to get out of those non-conference matchups every year?
There's a lot of things that could provide value. I think one is if one of our goals here, this is one of the reasons you play a school like Florida State, is if we want to advance deep in the NCAA tournament at some point, you're going to be facing one of these teams, and you don't want it to be a shock to your system. You want to see what it feels like to maybe see whatever gaps we might have to fill, but you also want to understand it's not insurmountable in the slightest bit, right? These are games that we should win at some point, sooner than later, or at least be able to go toe-to-toe and believe you can win. So I think there's a little bit of just exposure to different levels, right? Testing our system, and we know where the strain points are against most opposition, but that can change against other opposition. So even as a coaching staff, if we have to make adjustments, being through that experience and kind of testing some of those on the fly, I think is helpful. But the main thing that we look for, honestly, when it comes to scheduling is we want to play in the NCAA tournament. That is a goal. I sat down with Jason and Travis and anyone here for the interview. It's one of the things that's on my resume is that we've coached teams that go to the NCAA tournament, and that's one of the things we want to do from year one here. And in order to do that, you got to win games, but you also have to play a schedule that sets you up for success to some extent. And part of that is this RPI ranking, and you got to play teams that win a lot of games. If you want to have it's not that complicated. If you want to have a good RPI, you've got to play teams that win a lot of games, and then you have to win a lot of those games. And so we're looking for teams that do well in their conference. It means that you don't build bad habits because you get punished for. If you show bad habits, you get punished for bad habits. We want to make victories feel real so that we can learn real lessons from them. And this Florida State game, I don't want it to feel this way in any extent, but there is a little bit of a no-lose situation that RPI-wise, we're going to be fine. right? I think they're going to take care of business the rest of the year. But it's also a darn huge opportunity to compete at a high level, to make a statement and put something on the resume maybe.